Good evening, everybody. It's freaking Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Well, 7:06 p.m. Central Time now. But welcome into Out of Rhythm Fantasy Sports. I'm Jamie, and that's Eli. We're down for some football talks, and who knows what else happens tonight. And join our Discords and links. Join us in the chats. Whatever you guys want to do tonight, man. Just come join us. We're here to party.
It's party time, yeah. I got kind of
It
a
is.
fear and loathing in Las Vegas look. I feel like Johnny Depp that I'm on some drugs or something. I don't know. These glasses got me. I'm back in the 70s, man.
I was
doing some
actually gonna mention
snowboarding or something. I don't know. I don't
you
know,
look
man.
like
But it's Wednesday night. Never a day too late at Out of Rhythm, and we got some good topics tonight. Some waivers. I got this is the newest addition to the show, by the way. Got the 5 DraftKings bargain bin players that I'll bring up. Have another spotlight for another NFL draft prospect. So a lot of fun the next hour 15ish. So tune in.
yeah, that's I was gonna actually, I have a quick question for you. I
You
noticed
bet.
in
You
our
bet.
dynasty league, you dropped a ton of people. I was curious what you were
Hey
thinking.
man. Hey, I'm notorious for this though. I do this every year in every league I'm in. You know that. I clean house, I
I
gut
know
the
that.
team, and then I reconstruct it how I know Dynasty's a little different animal. You know, you're looking year to year to year to year instead of just year to year. So yeah, there are a couple guys I didn't feel too bad about moving on from. Um, Deontay
Well,
Johnson.
I know you had Kyrie
Deontay's
Williams.
hurt, and he's moving out with the old, in with the new. Okay, and if you saw that Steelers offense in Week 1, you'd understand why. A couple other guys, yeah, you could get on my case about, but yeah, couple are warranted, and others maybe jumping the gun. But I know what you're talking about.
I was I'm like, what is this guy thinking? Because if you're in our in our dynasty league, I'm just like, he has no more taxi squad. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? I'm just like, it didn't make no sense to me. So I wanted to ask you what you were doing or what you were thinking. I mean, it just kind of pickles my mind a little bit. Yeah, yep, pickles my mind. Huh? I feel like a pickle now.
I'd like to pickle with your mind a little bit.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure you do.
sometimes hell, you gotta gut the team. You gotta gut the team, whether it's dynasty or not. So that's what's going
No,
on there.
I don't know. I mean, I'm kinda curious, I mean, because I know you had Kyrie Williams. He was a big bargain guy today here, I mean, he was picked up and whatnot, but,
So it's a 1 week thing. I'm not sold on him at all.
but
I
but
think
you
the
but you could
Rams kind of popped for a week. Yeah,
but
yeah,
you could
Kyron Williams.
here's
Oh, I
what
had
you
to create some space on my. Oh, I had to create
oh,
some space on my roster too. I had to pick a few guys up. 'Cause I had some injuries too. So
so
some
so
of it I had to like drop under, like if it's 19 players or 20 players, I had to drop under that limit so I could get, and I'm fucking dude. I haven't done Dynasty before. This is my first season in Dynasty, so I'm like, I need spots to fill. I got to get points. I don't care how I get the fucking points, but Kyron Williams, to answer your point on that,
here's
one
what you
week
shoulda
guy,
did. No, nope,
1 week
here's what you
guy.
shoulda did. Hold on. This is what
Jared,
you shoulda
Jared,
yes, here's what
21
you shoulda did.
Yes.
This is what you
Yes, the
shoulda
Lions
did
won.
with
Yes, they did.
so here's what you shoulda did with Kyrie Williams. Instead of dropping him, you shoulda traded him. That's what you shoulda did, and you coulda gotten some picks back for somebody that wanted Kyrie Williams. That's what you shoulda did instead of dropping him. And then I'm like, why would you do that when this guy just went off for a couple, he had
Well,
pretty
that's
watches
why
got,
I run my team and you don't.
But I was just kind of like,
Yeah, I'll
it
trade
made
you
it.
Kyron Williams and a bag of chips.
Well, see, there's a taxi squad
I'll
for
give
a
you some
reason. You
Funyuns
just
and
leave people there. Yes, Donovan says pickles are nasty. But before we get too far, make sure you guys join our Discord. It's actually the link is in the description. I'm not going to go any farther with that. It's in the description. Come join us. Talk some football, basketball, baseball, whatever you feel like. There's a bunch of stuff in there for everybody. Dynasty and Borg over here. He's like, yep. You think so? Borg over here. He actually sent me a trade for my Puka this morning. He tried sending me Thielen and Dobbs for my Puka, and he still thinks it's a good trade. But I just seen that Thielen was dropped, so I'm just like, you're a funny man, Borg. You're a funny man. And yes, Donovan pickles are very great. They are very good and crunchy while you're at it. But make sure you join well, not join, but if you guys don't catch our live streams, there's pods for audio people that listen to stuff in their ears. I think is that what it's called, Eli? But make sure you join our Google Pods, Apples, and
Well,
Spotify.
if they want to go back, watch. If they want to go back and watch some archived episodes, we're on Spotify. It's my personal favorite. I know Jay likes that a lot too. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean. Tune in. We're quite a few places, and you know what? There might even be some of this talk going on the Discord about if you got gripes about my team and the moves I'm making, then let's have at it on the Discord. We need more people on the Discord. I'm going to show that one more time. There we go. Coming up. There we go. So you got to join in. So then you, like Jay, can put your 2 cents in on somebody else's team, and but no, it's good. It's good, friendly debate, But yeah, that's the point of Discord. A lot of these topics that we would bring up here, we're going to bring them up there too. So get on over to Discord, and then go back and some of the predictions. We did a bunch of stuff over the summer. We did a bunch of different players from divisions, and obviously injuries happen now. But if had you listened to some of those, you would have known about Puka long before the rest of the NFL did. The guy jumped from 9% owned last week at this same time. Last Wednesday, 72% owned on Yahoo now. So you would have known about Puka and what he was going to do, and Josh Kelly from the Chargers talked a little bit about him. If anything happened to Eckler, so yeah, a couple guys. So go back if you want some archive stuff. Go back to June, July, and some of the divisions that we did. So yeah, lots of good content. And tonight's episode, you want to re listen to tonight's episode? It'll be up there soon too. So yeah,
yes, it will.
Lots of goodness.
But anyways,
so pumped, so pumped.
I know, right? Even though we're a day late with our waivers, we don't care. We're still going to talk about them and how these guys went up or down or whichever. Which guys
we have
are
jobs, unlike Chad.
Oh my God. But yes, it is difficult for us because we do work and try to put everything together for some good content for you guys.
Anybody there? Anybody?
Oh man, this is so whack. But hey,
I know. I know. We should probably get into. We'll be back this week.
So seriously, Kelsey and Andrews are going to be back. To answer your question, it sounds like that Kelsey might be back this week, but keep it on a thin needle. But it's very close.
Kelsey will be back because they need him to win that game. To be honest, so he's going to be back. Mark Andrews, I think, is out for week 2. If I were to bet, I would stay away from Andrews this week. And if you have Isaiah Likely or we're able to snatch him up, that might be a better play there. But gun to my head, Andrews out, Kelsey plays.
Yeah. I don't know what's worse.
Donovan.
Yeah. I mean,
pickles tonight, Pukas.
And Eli's, 70s gambling look.
Yeah.
Now all he needs is the chain and then the cigar while he's at it, and then toss out some money, But anyways, guys,
I was like, if you want me to light a cigar up, I could do that too. That might finish the look. Maybe a little.
But we'll get into
some liquid courage and.
Yeah, that's Eli for you guys. I mean, where's the drink tonight? I'm surprised you don't have one tonight.
No, actually, just repping the water tonight. Thought I'd mix it
Oh,
up.
all right,
Everybody
guys.
listens probably
So,
thinks I'm a drunk anyway, so
so, so we had a nice,
not totally
interesting first week.
inebriated.
First week. Is there anything that you saw from this week from this last weekend that stood out to you?
um, I mean, I was impressed by the Rams, but it's a wait and see. Kyron Williams, I know he was a big hit with waivers, and Puka and Tutu Atwell. I mean, the Rams offense just tore up Seattle. But I mean, it's a wait and see. Plus, they're playing the 49ers this week. So I think they're going to come back down to earth. So I would kind of, watch that for sure. But yeah, definitely impressed with the Rams. Packers, Jordan Love looked good. I don't know why all this hate for Jordan Love. It's all these talking heads. It's all these morons on the big networks and a lot of podcasters like us. I mean, we realize that Jordan Love is he's decent. I think he can be a top 20 quarterback. Absolutely. He's not any worse than Derek Carr, or somebody in that range. So I like what I saw from him. Justin Fields, kind of continued what I thought he'd be. Fantasy guy, not a starting quarterback in my opinion. I think the Bears are going to be drafting Drake May or Caleb or Shador Sanders, if he comes out next year. So I think the Bears will be redrafting a quarterback. But for right now, Justin Fields, absolutely, top 5, top 10 fantasy quarterback. So just keep rolling with him. Aaron Rodgers injury, I guess I can comment on that. I don't blame the Jets for doing what they did. They went all out. I mean, they brought in Dalvin, Alan Lazard, a couple different coaches. I mean, they stacked it up. I mean, they went all in on this season, and now you're stuck with Zach Wilson. So, with all the weapons, though, I mean, we'll talk about the waivers here in a little bit. But Zach Wilson, if he shows any pulse, I mean, if this guy has got anything left on the table we haven't seen, Zach Wilson's going to be a major waiver pickup or a DFS guy. Because you shouldn't fail with this. With some of the weapons he's got with Dalvin and Brees and some of the receivers. I mean, Garrett Wilson is sure proof. I mean, that guy's an all-pro level guy, or he will be this year. So yeah, it should be pretty simple there. And Bills, Josh Allen's a turnover machine. I'm glad I didn't take him high.
Yeah.
I like Trevor Lawrence more. I like Mahomes more. Jalen Hurts more. So there's a couple of guys that have passed him. So Josh Allen to me is no longer a top 3 fantasy quarterback. He's more in like the top 5 or 6 range now. So those are just a few things I saw. And then I'll comment one more thing. It doesn't have anything to do with fantasy, but I think that the Chargers need to fire Brandon Staley, the head coach. He's a moron. He's supposed to be a defensive guy. They have Kellen Moore right there. Kellen Moore knows what he's doing. I mean, that offense was cranking on Sunday. So I think, honestly, if the Chargers are struggling midway through the year, I think you can Staley, and then you promote Kellen Moore, because he was a good OC in Dallas. So far he's done, good work with the Chargers, and I'd make him the head coach. I'd make him the head man.
Yeah,
that's embarrassing. Tyreek did whatever he wanted, man. That was ugly.
215 odd yards. 215 yards. He actually, I think it was almost like 1 or 2 yards away from actually breaking another like record that was out there in some, I was just like, what? I'm like, no way. Yeah, it's crazy because I actually wrote down here that there was 8 wide receivers throughout this weekend that had 100 plus yards receiving this year, or not last weekend. So I was like, Jesus. But it felt like their running backs were kind of shitty this weekend. I mean, if you think about it, there was only 4 running backs that actually had 100 yards running. Just 4 of them. I figured there might have been a little bit more, but I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there were some good plays. I didn't see, so my butt was sleeping. I actually left like the games on or whatever. Come home, and I kind of in mid sleep. I heard CMC touchdown. That's all I heard. And I woke up to something else, and I'm like, what? There was something else on TV, and I'm like, must have been one of the animals or whatever. They sleep next to me, and I didn't hear no football. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? But I saw all the 3 p.m. games. The Raiders Denver game, that was straight garbage. I didn't like any of it. I was hoping to see Marvin Mims get some more catches in there. It was just a low scoring game. There was just, I mean, Wilson looked pretty good. I mean, he looked decent. He looked like, I mean, it looked like him of him in Seattle. Him running out bootlegging, but some of his throws were just off. Didn't look too great. I figured this offense would have been a little bit better. I mean, it was all just ground and pound really between the two teams. There was Sutton, and I was hoping more from Mims, but that didn't happen. Sutton was all right. I mean, not bad, but Jimmy G looked terrible. So I mean, there was almost a fight with one of them. I think because somebody hit Jimmy G or something like that, a late hit. So there was also almost a scrabble there. I mean, I didn't get to see, so I just saw that game. I saw the Packers. We'll talk about the Bears here too. I was straight up dumbfounded. I'm like, what the hell's going on with the Bears here? Just like the Packers were just like with the old Aaron Rodgers, like, oh hey, just another Bear game, just ching 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 ching, touchdown after touchdown. It's just like, what the hell? The Bears didn't show up, or they didn't want to put their uniforms on today, or what? So the Bears just still total trash. I was kind of not impressed with them with the way they looked at all. I didn't see much of the
They
other.
couldn't stop a damn nosebleed. I mean, yeah, the Bears
Oh,
are, and they got it's another team with a defensive coach. What the hell? The Chargers, Bears, they hire all these, these defensive guys, and they can't even cover their side of the ball. Like, get a goddamn offensive coach. That'd be, if I was doing a Book of Eli tonight, that'd be one of my segments is stop hiring defensive coaches. They obviously don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, yep. And then I seen the Cowboys game.
Just a Eberflus, another guy's can. They're gonna shit can his ass. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, maybe they should just stick with offensive people, running the offense, and defensive people to stay on the defensive side, because if they know what the hell they're doing, it's like, come on now. But the Cowboys just romped all over the Giants. That was awesome. Liked what was kind of going on there. The Giants, they looked kind of sad and miserable. It was not good for them. They sacked Jones like 7 fucking times. So that was just, I was like, whoa. So I mean, there were some good plays in there. They kind of mixed some stuff up with their running game a little bit. And they had Ricky Dowell up in there. Little man didn't get a chance to really carry too much, so maybe next time around he might get a few more carries. The Bills Jets game was electric. I mean, yeah, I don't really care too much for Rodgers. It's sad that he got hurt, but as a fantasy player, football player kind of guy, it just took the air out of the room. So I mean, with Wilson kind of coming in, I figured, I'm like, well, this game's over with. The Bills should just run all over them. We'll bring up some highlight. I have a few highlight players. So we'll mention that. I'll be bringing up some of those here shortly too as well. But I liked Cook. He looked pretty damn nice. I mean, the few runs that he had, he looked pretty. He looked good. I liked what I saw from him. Can't never go wrong with Diggs. And then Josh Allen was just throwing pick after pick after pick, and I was like, what the hell, dude? So this first game is actually his most highest game with tossing a pick in a game. I was looking, his average is usually 2 picks a game, give or take, and here and there. I was looking back at what he did last year, and there were some games he didn't have any, and there was games where he had 2 picks in a game. So him having 3 is a little bit little unorthodox.
Yeah, no, I see why Diggs is pissed at him. I really, guy can't take care of the football, and a couple other. I mean, I forgot to mention, my Bucks. That might be a 1 week deal, or we might be better than I thought we'd be. With Baker, if he can go back to being 2020 Baker, where he's serviceable, can throw 20, low 20s touchdowns, 25 touchdowns. Somewhere in that range, and he should be with these weapons. He should be able to. Mike Evans still look like Mike Evans out there. I mean, guy hadn't lost a step yet, and Chris Godwin's still Chris Godwin. We love Trey Palmer. Like, you get, and I was saying on Twitter and on Facebook and wherever the hell anybody would listen to me, I was saying we need to get on the phone and go get Jonathan Taylor. He's on the PUP list with the Colts right now, but it's like, whatever it's going to take, man. Get him down to Tampa, and we could probably compete this year. We get an elite back like him with our defense, and if Baker can be serviceable, we can make a playoff run. I'm convinced of that. Probably not as good as the 49ers or Cowboys, or Eagles, but I mean, we could be the fourth best team in the NFC. We get Jonathan Taylor, absolutely. So that's another thing I want to get in there too. The Bucks looked impressive. Vikings are a decent team. I don't think the Vikings are going to be a 11, 12-win team or anything this year, but they're still being the playoff mix. So I mean, that's a good win, especially on the road. So Cowboys look great. Your Cowboys, yeah, they're going to be right up there with the 49ers and Eagles competing for the conference.
Yeah, I think so. They looked pretty good. They looked pretty decent from what I saw anyways. So I was happy with that. And I'm the heck here. I was actually trying to get the sound. Actually, I was trying to get the sound from Discord not to pop up when we do our pod. So I was trying to get notifications silence.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that happens.
I was going to say during this brief intermission.
I'll put
the glasses back on.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, it's
be taking some bath salts with this.
The now I lost my train of thought because of the freaking Discord here. Sorry. But yeah, the Jets and the Jets and
Jets,
I know. I got you. Bills and Jets, good game. Hopefully, Allen does not Allen hopefully should have a better game this upcoming week. Yeah, but talking about your Bucks, I was kind of surprised to them going into Minnesota and kind of ting. But hey, Baker Mayfield, not a bad quarterback. Don't mind him. He's gonna be your kind of middle tier quarterback. He's not gonna be elite, but I mean he'll be a top 15 quarterback, I think, in most given weeks. But I mean, he's got weapons of Evans, Godwin, Palmer, or the running backs. I don't know too much there. So, but that's kind of our overall take on the kind of the weekend. I know, right? Oh, what did you?
Yeah,
did you see
Josh Allen. I don't know, Raider. I was gonna say quick about Josh Allen. I don't know if he's gonna rebound in week 2. I'll be honest. I mean, Raiders defense looked a lot better than I thought they would. I know Denver's kind of a mess right now. They're trying to figure things out, with Sean Payton coming in, but I mean, Russ was decent. Had like 2 touchdowns and no picks. So, I mean, Raiders. Max Crosby, their pass rusher. I mean, he might be all over Josh Allen this weekend, and maybe some more turnovers. Who knows? I mean, that could be a bad sight, man. The Bills go to 0-2. I mean, there'll be some heads rolling.
Yeah, hopefully that's not the case, because the Bills are way better than what the Raiders are. Yeah, they might have Max Crosby, but I just don't like anything that the Raiders did at all this weekend. Jacoby Myers had a pretty good game. Yeah.
But he's in concussion protocol. He probably won't even play this week. Yeah, so the one good offensive weapon they did have, because Josh Jacobs was, for missing all of the preseason and training camp. I mean, that's to be expected. Maybe Josh will crank it up in a couple weeks, but I mean, the one guy that actually showed up is going to miss this week. So yeah, the Raiders off. I think the offense is a mess right now, and I don't know if Jimmy's still struggling mid-season. I'd put Aiden O'Connell in there. The rookie from Purdue that had a good preseason. I mean, yeah, Jimmy might be shot at this point.
Yeah, because what I saw, I mean, he had a few good plays, but I didn't like anything I saw from it at all. I'm just like, I'm like, nope. I'm staying away from anything Raiders. I mean, unless you got Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. I mean, that might be the only fantasy relevant players. I mean, it really didn't see much from Jacobs either. So, but yeah, which way you want to go now? You want to talk about some waiver stuff, or do you want to kind of highlight week 2?
I'm coughing up that bullshit. Sorry. I was gonna say, couple guys went to IR. Obviously, I'm assuming anybody watching would have seen the Aaron Rodgers, situation. So Aaron Rodgers out for the rest of the year. So go get a quarterback if you haven't already. I know Well, Jared's league doesn't do waivers until tomorrow, so that's kind of the league we do with Jared. But every other league that I've seen, is usually Wednesdays. So a lot of guys have already been picked up. But that's why we're gonna do the waiver segment later. If you need a quarterback to replace Aaron Rodgers, we'll help you out with that.
Yep.
Who is that from the Ravens running back? J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins is out again. That'd be another guy that if I was doing Book of Eli tonight that I would mention. Dobbins, you can't trust him. Second year out of 4 full years that 2 full years out of 4 he's been on the IR list now, so done for the year. He's banged up last year when he did play, and then in 2020 his rookie year. Rookie year was actually the only good year he had. So yeah, Dobbins, I wouldn't trust him ever again. Don't touch him. If he's comes back next year, I wouldn't touch him with a draft, or if he's in your dynasty, I'd let him go. Just trade him something. Not reliable. And then Noah Brown, who actually got some targets on Sunday against the Ravens. Houston, Stroud, he didn't throw any touchdowns, but I mean, he looks solid out there. And if he's going to put up yards, I mean, there's going to be guys that benefit, and we'll talk about a couple of those in the waivers. But Noah Brown, he actually got some targets on Sunday, but he'll be out for the rest of the year. They put him on IRs. So just 3 guys I thought I'd point out that had some fantasy attention from this past weekend.
Yep, I was hoping John Mitchie, he's questionable as well. Mostert, he's questionable as well, so kind of monitor that this week. Greg Dulcich, he's doubtful. So I mean, the other guy from the Denver Titans, I think it's Troutman, I think it is. So make sure you probably go and
talk about him.
Swing and pick it. Yep. Judy still questionable yet. He was limited at practice, but still questionable. Travis Kelce, we just mentioned here just not too long ago. He's questionable. It sounds like he might be able to play this weekend. So if he does, keep an eye on that and put him in your lineups. I think Devontae Parker is questionable. And then there was, I think, what's his name was in Jacoby Myers is actually in crush. Can't think now. He's in a
cat.
Yeah, I know.
Cat got his tongue. Cat got his tongue. No,
concussion protocols.
No, but yeah, Jacoby's probably out, man.
Yeah.
No, you're good. I was gonna say, like I was saying a few minutes ago, Jacoby's probably out. And it's sad because, like I said, he was the most productive receiver, and it's not going to continue. I mean, Devontae's still productive, but I mean, he solidified himself as the Raiders' number 2, I believe. So it's going to suck that he's out. But so if you need to put somebody else in, flex spot, or if you got a 3 receiver league, if you need a third receiver to replace, yeah, definitely going to have to find somebody for Jacoby on Sunday.
Yeah. But yeah, that was kind of most of the headlines and injury reports and stuff like that. And Donovan says, yeah, get back to the Packers love. What Packers? The Packer cheese?
He loves that Packers talk. Oh yeah, all day.
I mean, this is what he wants to call the show.
I should.
Yeah, he mentioned earlier here Goff better than Fields. Yeah, we'll see about that. I mean, Goff, yes. Goff was he had 365
quarterback Jay. Fantasy wise, I lean towards Fields because of the rushing. He's always going to give you that rushing. Like quarterback wise, yeah, it's not even close. Jared Goff is head and shoulders a better quarterback than Justin Fields. If you want to win games, Jared Goff, absolutely 10 times out of 10. But fantasy wise, I think Fields is barely got him.
So since we kind of recapped everything, I'm gonna bring up my highlighted players. We'll get into some of the waiver stuff, and then we have another new segment gonna pop in here too as well, which I think might be kind of fun. We'll kind of get that towards after all the waivers kind of pick up, and then we'll get into the college segment, the college spotlight segment, which is it's kind of new, kind of fun too as well. So
got it ready to go. Got it queued up.
Oh, snap, crackle, pop. So my highlighted player of the week this weekend is Breece freaking Hall. if you didn't draft him in your drafts over this last month, what the hell were you thinking? Yeah, he came from ACL. It looked like he was, you know, he was ready to
You're brain dead.
you know, he was ready to do what he did last year, and at first, I mean, yeah, I mean, of course, everybody kind of was figured he kind of limit his role touches, kind of ease him in and whatnot, but it looked like he was explosive right out of the hole. He hit 127 odd yards. I seen all of his plays. He looked pretty. He saw the hole pretty quick and he was gone. He was in and out. He had one reception for 20 yards. I saw that. That was just it looked freaking great. His 83-yard run. If only Wilson would have had a touchdown. But Garrett Wilson decided, no, I'm not going to block for you, buddy. I'll just let the guy tackle you. He would have had a touchdown. He would have been like the number one scorer of the week in PPR. But no. But other than that, I was happy with what I saw with Breece Hall. I love him. Hopefully, if anybody wants Breece Hall, go out, go trade for him because I'm all in on Breece Hall. I mean, he looked a little bit better than Cooks, even though Cooks is coming back from some of his little injuries. But it's just going to be a nice 1-2 punch.
Yes, trade for Breece. Don't drop him. He's not Kyren Williams. Okay, let's clarify that. Breece Hall. See that? There's Kyren Williams way down here. That's why that happened.
Yeah. So this was one of my highlight players from the weekend. I was happy with. Hopefully he can get back to where he was when he was a rookie. He looked pretty good. I was pretty impressed with what I saw with him from Monday night. I'm happy I drafted him I tried to get him where I could in most of my leagues. I was still I'm still in on Breece Hall even since I drafted him as a rookie. I was in on him. And my next, you know who my next guys are? You know who my next guys are?
The dynamic duo. Tutu and Puka.
How could I not? Puka looked great. I didn't see any of the. I just seen a few of the highlights. It's Puka had 70. He was actually. Yeah. So 21 fantasy points. Atwell 17 fantasy points. They were both on the field pretty much. 78 and 79% of the snaps. Puka had a little bit more of the targets. Atwell had 8 targets, but he actually did more on those targets. But they both ended up with 119 odd yards. I think and we'll kind of get to that. Excuse me. We'll kind of get into that when we kind of hit the waiver part. With where people are taking or what the roster percentages are on these two guys. We'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But we liked Puka. We mentioned him in our NFC West preview to draft him. Even in our previous episode, we said to pick up Puka before this happened. So yes, and now everybody's rushing to pick up Puka, and people are trying to trade for him now too as well. Atwell, I guess he's a number 3 guy. He'll be kind of just he'll be here, kind of here and there. But I was overall happy. The Rams looked pretty decent. They were playing the Patriots, so what do you expect? No, not the Patriots. I forgot who they played.
Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks. That's what it was.
I was disappointed with the Seahawks defense, but still, if Stafford's healthy, we already know who the bread and butter is. We know he's completely bypassing Van Jefferson because he's moving on down. So Van Jefferson's out of the mix. Stafford stays healthy, and if Cooper Kupp is out at least till week 5, keep rolling with these two guys. And I really think that Cam Akers is going to step up too in the backfield. I think that Kyren, people jumping on Kyren Williams. That's a 1-week thing to me. I don't see Kyren ending up with 800-900 yards or 8 touchdowns, 8 tutties, anything like that. So I would, but these two are the truth, especially Puka. Puka is going to be the next Cooper Kupp. I said it. You damn right. You can come back in a couple of years on our pod, and you mark this down. This will be the next Cooper Kupp right here. Atwell doesn't have, and you see it in the waivers too. I mean, there's quite a bit of difference between Puka and Atwell in terms of ownership. So, where I think the general public they're fully aware of Puka now. So, and he's got a star's name. He's got a star's name. He's gonna look. He looks like a star out there. Yeah, I love what I'm seeing.
Everybody says he's the next Cooper Kupp, but I mentioned in our NFC West preview that he is a poor man's Debo. That's what he is. He's a poor man's Debo because he can actually do what Debo does, and it just not in a highlighted area, highlighted spotlight. He's not Cooper Kupp
in terms of the production, though.
Yeah,
skill sets different than Kupp, but it's the production that I don't know where everybody else is on, but for me it's the production. It's being the Rams' number one go-to guy. I think eventually Puka, right now he might even be that, but I think eventually he works into that role. So long-term dynasty, year to year, whatever the DFS, whatever you're in, this is the man to get.
Yes, and we'll talk about that too here soon as well. My other highlighted guy, Anthony Richardson.
Rich. Ooh.
I know, AR5, man. It just boom. I mean, the guy looked good. I wish I could have seen the game because I was actually trying to get a little nap in and then try to watch some of the games, kind of in and out of sleep, kind of catch some games. I wanted to see Anthony Richardson. That was the guy I really wanted to see. But from highlights, he looked pretty damn good. Couple of touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. I mean, with Richardson kind of giving you that rushing upside a little bit too as well. I mean, that was also a nice taste. 23 fantasy points, 23 completions on 37 attempts, 233 yards. He had 1 INT, but get Richardson in your lineups. He can even be better than Fields. Yes, just said that. Yeah, but I drafted Richardson in leagues I could get. I was kind of more going, hopefully trying to draft Sam Howell because I was kind of a Howell guy, but I ended up drafting more Anthony Richardson in most of my drafts, and I was kind of happy with what I saw. What are your thoughts?
This was kind of what I was expecting from him. A rushing touchdown, a passing, maybe 1 or 2 passing touchdowns, about 2 touchdowns a game, between the rush and the pass, which I thought we said it. That's why you guys need to go back and listen to our division previews. You would have known that we thought Anthony Richardson was going to be in terms of first round. You can't always predict the late round guys. I mean, who would have saw Brock Purdy last year? And I predicted a couple guys. Aiden O'Connell. I just talked about him, 4th round guy. But in terms of the first round talent, Bryce Young, him, CJ, got even Will Levis, if you want to throw him in there, guys like that. I thought Anthony Richardson would be the best of that bunch. And so the stat line makes sense. Colts aren't going to win a lot of games, but the stat line, the production, and long term, yeah, he might be better than Justin Fields. Right now, he's not. I mean, Justin Fields is still getting double the rushing yards and passing yards. They don't hand in fantasy. They don't hand out a ton for passing yards. So the touchdowns are kind of a wash. But right now at this moment, Justin Fields is better. But yeah, that's something definitely. While these guys are still cheap, before Anthony Richardson is a top 5, top 10 fantasy quarterback. Yeah, like Jay was saying, trade for him, make a move, get him, Puka, get these guys early because they're going to be when they're household names in a year or two. You won't be able to. I mean, they'll be on keepers. They'll be locked up on somebody's dynasty team. So yeah, get them now.
Yep. Do a quick takeaway too. I did like what I saw from Pittman. Pittman had a pretty good couple catches from Richardson. He had a touchdown too as well. That looked pretty good. I will mention another guy here in our waivers stuff too for kind of more deeper leagues and stuff like that as well. But yeah, I want to see more. I'm going to hopefully by this weekend try to get my sleeping pattern arranged for some, football, because usually I stay up after work, do some crunching, do some, that's when I kind of do some lineups and stuff like that and try to make sure everything is set and, and try to kind of catch some football, sleep and all that good stuff before work. And yeah,
we're we're gonna do some synchronized napping. We'll, we'll be on each end of the bed. His feet will be on my head.
But my last guy for for the week is we mentioned him quite a bit, is Trey Palmer. He was,
Is
eight fantasy points. He was out in 34% of the snaps. Had 3 targets, 2 receptions. He did have he had a tutty. So I mean, he will be getting some work. We highlighted him too in our NFC South preview. We talked about him. He was kind of I think it was a 5th round pick, I think, in the draft, I believe, more of a lower round, kind of raw talent kind of guy. I kind of mentioned that in our preview as well. But I think Trey Palmer will be a favorite of Mayfield's. I think, even though they do got, Evans, Godwin, I want to put some love on freaking Trey Palmer, get his name out there a little bit more and whatnot, because we mentioned him already a few times, even in our preseason streams. We mentioned Trey Palmer. I highlighted him quite a bit. I just mentioned that he's a raw talent. Still got a lot. His route tree is not that, it's very limited, but hopefully, with more games progressing, that his talent, shows through, and I want him to be something. So that's just put a little ticker back there, a little star, Trey Palmer. Just write him down.
Yep. We feel like gold star parents when we talk about our young man, Mr. Trey Palmer, and he benefited obviously from Russell Gage being injured, but still, it's the NFL, man. You're gonna, injuries happen. You're gonna move up the depth chart, and like I said, Bucks looked a lot better than I thought they would week 1. We'll see if they get a win against the Bears and go 2-0. Then it's like, okay, now we're in compete mode. Now we're gonna try this year. Now we're shoot for 9-10 wins, and kind of in that bracket. So and then I thought, we both thought probably that Mike Evans might be traded, and that still might happen. Who knows? I mean, this could implode. I mean, this is the Bucks, so they could easily implode, ship Evans out, and then Trey Palmer is going to get those targets. Instead of getting 3, he gets 7. But the touchdown helps. Hell, man, that's whatever. That's like 8.8 points. You get you get 6 for a touchdown, 2 points for each reception, and then obviously 8 yards. I mean, but for a bench guy right now, because nobody's starting. We're not telling you to start him, but get him on the roster, get him on the bench. Stash him away. He shouldn't be starting for you, definitely, but yeah, stash him away. While he, like I said, another guy, while he's cheap, while he's young, unknown.
Yep, and he's actually only 1% rostered. He's out there.
Yeah,
I mentioned a couple shows ago. I actually picked him up in one of our, I think it was our Dynasty League. I went out and picked him up. I think I got him in both mine and the other Dynasty League I'm in. I went out and got both. I got him in both dynasties. So hopefully he comes out to beat something. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I mean, if they do ship him out, right there, Palmer, number 2. That's, yeah. But
like the Spice Girls said. Like the Spice Girls said, Jay, when 2 become 1.
Yeah. But anyways, before we get too far here, okay, so we're done with our highlighted segment, and then we'll get on to the other segments quick. A few comments here. Eric says Hall we'll see with a 9-man front going forward. I mean, even though if they do have Wilson, I liked what they saw. They had big holes. I mean, he was going right through them like it was nothing. And with his, with him being electric, and with the way he was, I liked what I saw from him. Eli had no comment on that one, but Donovan says those are some long hits off Puka. Hey, it is what it is, man. That's, I just see Puka as a poor man's Debo, but yeah, Eli, you having problems over there? I think if everybody's watching a live stream, Eli's like, "What's going on, dude?"
You still hear me?
Yeah, it's all kind of fuzzy though.
You still hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you.
The computer went black. Yeah, like a pop-up came up and it went black. I don't know what the fuck.
Oh, damn. Oh, I can still see you. It's just crazy. Everybody wave at Eli.
Yeah, just hold down the fort.
Yeah, I can do that here. I can hold on. I'll just
I
jump
can't
into.
I
I'll
can't
jump
see
into.
you. Went
Well,
from
I'll
the
just jump
disembodied
into.
voice.
I'll jump into some waiver stuff here while we're waiting for Eli to come back. He has having some difficulties, but
Okay.
I'll jump into some waiver
Yeah, hold
stuff
down the
here.
fort, man. I'm gonna restart the computer quick.
Yeah, go ahead. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Eli's having difficulties, and next thing you know, who knows what he was looking at on his computer. Next thing, a big old black pop up. But anyways, waiver guys, with waivers running, Puka, Justice Hill, Joshua Kelly, Kyrene, the typical guys. Puka, he was, he was actually only 11%. I mean, most of us rostered him. He was only 11% rostered. And when I looked this morning, he ended up being 17% rostered. This was on Sleeper, and he rose to 76% on roster on Sleeper, 71% on actually Yahoo. So I mean, a lot of people saw Puka. We mentioned him. If you can trade for him, trade for him. And then Justice Hill. Oh, look, he's back.
Am I back? Am I back?
Is he back again? Justice Hill was actually 0% rostered.
yeah, baby.
Justice Hill.
No, he went
Justice
black.
Hill was actually, yeah.
Oh.
Justice Hill was
I
0%
come back and then he
rostered.
goes black. I think we were about to talk about some waivers quick, but
Yeah, we are. We're talking
yeah,
about
if you guys
some
have any
waivers here.
comments, go ahead and chime in. If Jay's dealing with the same problem I have, it could be anything. While we're waiting, it could be anything. If Donovan wants to talk about Packers, Eric wants to talk any Saints or Bucks or Florida State or anything. Once again, you're listening to Out of Rhythm. You're about halfway through the show, and so far, just to recap, just talked about a few of the headlines. A few of the guys went to IR. A few of the guys that are having injuries throughout the week, who might be questionable: Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Raheem Mostert from Miami. Some of the bigger names that you should be looking out for this week. Kind of talk about that. Just talked about week 1 and kind of talked about week 2 a little bit. Few of the matchups. I talked a little bit about the Bills and Raiders and Rams and 49ers. A few of those kinds of matchups. Bucks and Bears. But oh, Jay. Oh man. Oh boy.
What?
Well, while he's figuring that out, I'm gonna talk about Puka a little bit. Guy went from 9% rostered to 72. Now it's 76. I mean, he is he's moving up the board like crazy. As soon as we look, he's gonna be 90% rostered. I mean, he is. I would say until Cooper Kupp's back, he's gonna be the Rams' #1 receiver. So it's a smart pickup. Justice Hill looks like he's number 2 in waiver pickups, or see, he's got Kyron Williams, or number 3 most picked up guy. Justice Hill at 52%. Gus Edwards is there with the Ravens. I know they brought Melvin Gordon up from the practice squad. So Melvin Gordon might some looks. It's always a revolving door. It's kind of like the 49ers before CMC got there. It's a revolving door of who's going to start that week. So Justice Hill, he might get a short run. He might get a 1-2 week run. Oh, he's back. He's back. You got audio, Jay?
Yeah, I've been here. I don't know where I've been here this whole time.
Some witch doctor was doing some sorcery on our damn show. We both blacked out, and we weren't even drinking.
I don't even know. I was just trying to do I was trying to do the waiver.
Some weird stuff going on tonight.
I was just trying to do our waiver stuff, and
Okay.
and I was just like, next, it's like,
I know, me too. But no, before you left there, I was just recapping some of the show, and then I was just getting into the waivers here and my thoughts on like Puka and Justice Hill. So yeah, if you want to start from the top with Puka and then kind of work your way out, I'll jump in.
Yeah. I was just mentioning these guys what they were to what their percentages are now. I mean, pretty much Puka was 11% on Sleeper, 9% on Yahoo. He rose up to 76 on Sleeper, 71% on Yahoo. Justice Hill, he was actually 0% rostered before we started the show. He was like this morning he was at 6%, but now he's like 52%. And I think Gus Gus Edwards is actually a little bit higher than him, or right pretty close to him. But he's 31% on Yahoo. Kane Williams, he went to 54%. And he's actually 50% on Yahoo. So, I mean, he's still kind of out there. Joshua Kelly, he was actually 7% rostered. Now he's all the way up to 50, so and now he's up to 56 on Yahoo as well. So these guys just vary. There was one guy that could still be out there is Zach Moss. He might be playing this weekend more than likely. He was actually 13% rostered on Sleeper, 8% on Yahoo, but he's only 24% rostered now and 19% on Yahoo. So he's still out there in some leagues. So if he is out there, go out and snag him up. I think more than likely he will be playing this weekend. Roshan Johnson, he's still out there in some leagues. He's 42% rostered in Sleeper, so he might be out there in maybe some smaller leagues possibly. Deeper leagues, probably not. He's probably already snugged up. And he's only 28% rostered in Yahoo leagues, so he's still out there in Yahoo leagues. I think that kind of covers everything. Gainwell, he's highly rostered now, 63% across all boards. Bourne, he's actually rostered now, 37% and 32% on Yahoo's. So that kind of gives you an idea of these guys, what they were and what they rose up to now, which was pretty extreme. Puka was the highest guy, pretty much almost. He's gonna be almost 80% roster before the weekend. I bet you, more than likely. And I have a couple other guys we can get into. Did you have a Fab Five at all, or was it the DraftKings thing?
No, I did. Well, yeah, I did the DraftKings bit
Okay,
too, and
yeah.
then I did my five. But my five are different than your six here, so we can. I'll just kind of comb over your. If you got a few more players, that's fine. I'll come over what you got, and because a lot of my guys are like lower percentage owned, so I kind of more bargain bin kind of guys.
Yeah.
So
all right.
But yeah, I was gonna say Zach Moss of the list there. Of the list there, Zach Moss might be the best play of those first six that Jay put up there. I think Moss is, if he's playing, I think he gets the start. I mean, I think he's better than Deion Jackson. Hull, I think he might be injured or coming back from injury. I don't. Hull, I don't trust him. So I mean, Moss could work his way right up to the top of the for week 2 getting the most carries. So
yeah. So first from deep sleepers, Rico Dowdle, Cowboys, only 2% rostered. Keep an eye on him. Yep. He had a few receptions up in there, a few carries and whatnot. Ty Chandler, keep an eye on him. He's a backup for Madison, 11% rostered. So if anything does happen, just make sure you got Ty Chandler out there. And even though these Ravens backfields, I don't like at all. Don't like Dobbs, don't like Gus, don't like Justice Hill. Justice Hill sounds like could be the guy, but the guy I want is keep your eye and listen on Keaton Mitchell. Was an undrafted free agent from ECU. He looked pretty good. In preseason, downfall is he's an IR right now, so 2 more weeks. So if this whole Justice Hill, Gus Edward thing does not work out, keep an eye on Keaton Mitchell, who I love. I would, if he does come back and it kind of gets into it, I'll take Keaton Mitchell over those two guys all day long. Terrence Marshall, 3% rostered. He should be a little bit more rostered than that. A lot of people say, well, he's LSU. He kind of flake, not good. He was out 90%. He was actually out in 90% of the snaps. But if you can go out, Terrence Marshall should be the guy out there. Thielen's out there in waivers too. Mingo's been dropped. I've seen that. And the other guy, Josh Downs, 10% rostered. He's out there in leagues. Had a few catches out there. I didn't write down a lot of his stuff either myself, but he was out. I think he was out there in 34% of the snaps. So he's kind of in between him and McKenzie, for kind of the slot guy. But Josh Downs the rookie, so I just make sure Josh Downs the guy, and probably more likely deeper leagues. And I mentioned Trey Palmer. We just highlighted him. He's only 2% rostered, so keep an eye on him once again. And I have one more guy, which you might even have, is Calvin Austin from the Steelers. He was actually out there in 56% of the snaps. And yeah, I've seen a lot of people picking up Allen Robinson, which Allen Robinson's kind of been. I
No,
wouldn't,
no,
I wouldn't touch him
no,
with a
no.
10-foot
Don't you mention
pole.
that man's name.
Yeah, so
He's been banned from this show for over a year. Don't you mention Allen Robinson. I don't care how good of a game he had.
but yeah, keep
He's
it
banned.
but keep your guys' eye out and on Calvin Austin. I think he was a rookie last year, might be a second year, but he's only 1% rostered, so I'll keep an eye on him in deeper leagues. But yeah, that's all I got.
I'll just kind of give a few thoughts on a few of these players, and then I'll put up my 5. Yeah, Ty Chandler is not because Madison. I mean, we know what he did. Kind of backing up Dalvin Cook for the last couple years. When he'd play, I mean, the guy was a 100-yard game machine. So people automatically, you're like, oh, this guy's going to be when he gets a full slate, he gets a full season. Oh, this guy's going to be a 1,500-yard back, or he's going to be a stud, or I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe a 950,000-yard back, which is a good season, but yeah, Ty Chandler's going to get some work. Definitely. I don't think Madison's a every down back or he'll be toting it, 20 times a game. I think more, 15 to 17. So, I mean, those touches got to go somewhere. Yeah, Keaton Mitchell, keep an eye out later in the season. That's what we originally said. That's what we had said a few months ago. Keaton Mitchell towards the end of the year, once he comes back from IR, because like I said, everybody in front of him doesn't impress us. Not one bit. So right now, Justice Hill and Gus Edwards are hot names. So is Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams is garbage to me. So, a lot of these guys are hot because running back's such a slim position. I mean, it's like the hottest woman, being at the bar with like 40 dudes. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to try to get on her. And that's basically, receivers, you got 20 guys for 20 girls. That's a good analogy. 20 guys for 20 girls. Running backs, it's about 40 dudes for one girl. So, of course, everybody's going to go nuts over the slightest. Oh, this guy had 70 yards rushing. Oh, my God. But yeah, of the best plays here, Josh Downs. Receiver-wise, I like where he's going. I think he built a rapport with Anthony Richardson in the offseason. And I think down the line, later in the year, right now, I wouldn't grab him. But if he shows any more, if his targets go up from like 3 or 4 to like even 5 or 6 a game, then I give him an extra look and you can probably stash him on your bench. But I think Josh Downs, of the ones we haven't talked about, he's probably another good play there. I love the deep sleep. I might have to steal that from you. Deep sleepers. I love that. That's what we should call this segment.
Right.
I came up with the least clever name you could. Week 2 pickups. Yeah, I'm a clever guy. Baker, and my rules are that I'm going to keep it under 20%. I'm going to keep it under 20%. To deep sleepers, bargains, whatever you want to call them. So every week it'll be under 20% to kind of give you guys, kind of like Jay did there with his last list, is guys that you're going to be able to get. You're not going to be able to get Puka. I mean, let's face it, anybody over 50%, you're going to have a hard time getting, especially if they're booming. It's like a stock market. If they're booming the previous week or two, it's going to be hard to get those guys. And, whatever you got to bid for them, trade for them, whatever. But in terms of like guys you can realistically get, that's who's here. Baker Mayfield, 13% rostered in Yahoo. I think, you know what? I after the first quarter, I was ready to, sell him for a ham sandwich. I'm not going to lie. I was ready to move off it. I'm like, what the hell is this garbage? But Baker hung in there, had a decent game. I think he can have a lot of decent games going forward. If the Bucs stay healthy, and if they were to get, hint, if they were to get Jonathan Taylor, that would help a lot. But yeah, going forward, Baker's not any worse than Sam Howell or some of these other guys that are, Tannehill. Oh, I thought you were going to do the cliffhanger.
Right.
So I'll let you comment. Give your 2 cents, Jay. After this, Tutu Atwell, I have a number 2 because you know what? He had just as many, not as many catches, but still the yards had just as many as Puka did, 119. So Tutu's still out there. There's a big gap. I mean, 16%. He's more of the 2. He's more realistic that you could have, and he could be until Cooper Kupp's back. He could easily be the Rams' number 2 or 3 guy for sure. Zach Ertz. I thought Zach Ertz was done. I said it on this podcast. I thought he was dead and buried. But maybe with having a Josh Dobbs at quarterback, maybe that gives him a new lease on life. Him and McBride, the other tight end, because that's all Arizona's got. I mean, Hollywood Brown's hurt. They got Rondale Moore, but nobody's super. He's not a world breaker or anything. So maybe that's the way they move the football. They give it to James Conner or hit one of the two tight ends. So Zach Ertz only 8% owned. Definitely a bargain there. I never thought I'd talk about Robert Woods. I thought he was dead and buried too. Guy's 33 years old, but I mean, he got the second most targets from the Texans, from CJ Stroud this weekend, behind Nico Collins. So, anytime a guy is number 2 in targets, receiver wise, you got to give him an extra look, especially only 7% rostered. Yeah, definitely. Robert Woods, definitely a guy you could get for sure. And Adam Troutman. It was between Adam Troutman and McBride from the Cardinals, because I that's the only way I think they're going to move the football is these tight ends are going to have to step it up for Arizona. So I was even considering putting McBride there. A couple other. I was thinking maybe put a running back in there to kind of what was the kid's name from the Browns? Maybe putting him in there, giving some running back love. But I put Troutman in there because he's going to be filling in for Dulcich at least 1 week. If you're doubtful, to me that means you're out. Questionable, that's always a 50-50. Doubtful is more like 80-20, you won't play. So I would assume Dulcich is going to be out this week. So go get Troutman if you need a 1 week tight end or a backup, because it might turn into a couple week thing. Sometimes these injuries linger, and that was a. I need a drink of water after that. Jesus Christ. Only 3% rostered, but so Troutman definitely you could have right now.
But Mayfield, not bad. I mean, he's kind of the same way. He's he'll be in the middle tiers. I mean, he's not gonna be like a top 10. I mean, he possibly can. I mean, he's shown flashes, but he's your tier 2 quarterback, and that's what he's going to be. Atwell, we explained him quite a bit already. I mean, yeah, he'll be a number 2 guy. Totally agree there. I mean, less percentage owns, not as flashy as Puka. I mean, Ertz, I was kind of surprised to kind of, I didn't know he was actually. I mean, I heard he was probably going to play, and didn't know he actually came back. So that's how much I pay attention.
Who did?
Yeah,
thought he was dead.
Robert Woods. I mean, I was kind of. I mean, yeah, with him being there last year, trying to help guide along these younger, wide receivers and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, not bad. I mean, 10 for 16. Or 10 receptions. I think it was 10 receptions, 57 yards. I mean, yeah, he's always going to be that kind of that typical guy getting more of the receptions. Collins didn't look bad at all either. He had a little bit of Tank Dell, Noah Brown, but I mean, I want to see Mitchie. I want to see Mitchie kind of get, he's been out for a while. Mitchie is kind of the guy I want to kind of see. I mean, they drafted him high last year, and he hasn't been able to play yet, so I want to see Mitchie kind of get kind of into this woodworks here. You see that woodworks, and yeah, Troutman. I have a couple. I have a few shares of Troutman, or not Troutman, of Dulcich. So I've been kind of waiting to kind of see if they get him out, and then I'll go out. I mean, I kind of want to get Dulcich Troutman on my rosters if I can. Kind of like he's going to be more involved. But yeah, other than that, yeah, that's kind of my take. Yeah, my take on that. Somebody was like, I'm not sure what this means. Why is Rodgers out? And I'm pretty sure this could be Buddy trolling us, but with him, just some Facebook user, I'm not sure. But anyways,
tisk.
Yeah. Donovan says, I can't even trade Allen Robinson in a 32 team dynasty. Yeah, why are people picking him up? But because what? He's been around for however long? Hell no. Sorry, I'll pick up Calvin Austin before I pick up Allen Robinson. So yeah. Yep. But anyways, we got just a couple more.
We need a segment. We need a segment called the 1 week wonder.
Yeah, there we go.
This is Allen Robinson as a 1 week wonder. It will never happen again.
Yeah. We have a few more segments we got to kind of get whipped out here and then get the show wrapped up. but yeah, it's been quite a fulfilled episode or stream, you want to call it, whatever you want to, a lot of mishappens. I don't know. Eli's there, and then I'm gone, and Eli's can't see me. This has been a strange stream already. I
Like
don't
the
even know
John
what
Cena.
else, right? All right, let's get into your few bargains. Eli's got a few bargains going on here for week 2. Let's jump into that. I have one more thing I want to share with you guys, and then we'll get things kind of wrapped up.
So I'm popping the cherry tonight, figuratively. This is the second. Jay's got a new segment he's debuting. I got one I'm debuting, and tonight it's the DFS week 2 bargains. Usually I go with DraftKings. That's just my preference. There's a couple other ones, FanDuel. There's some other ones, but DraftKings to me just the most user friendly, least amount of bullshit. So, and they offer a bunch of goodies. If you ever listen to anybody else's streams or on regular radio or TV, there's always ads for DraftKings. Give you $20 if you sign up, $5. So there's always goodies with DraftKings. Baker Mayfield, I'd say for quarterback, playing the Bears defense after what Jordan Love did, I think, Baker Mayfield to steal. I put him at number 1. If you want a cheap quarterback so that you can bulk up your receivers or go get, you want to play CMC that week or you want to play Jefferson or any of those studs, you can do that because, Baker's cheap, quarterback wise. Number 2, Puka's still a value. Being under 5 is kind of like, so the cap to me is 55. If you're under 55, you're a steal guy. And Puka, it'd be interesting to see what he does against that 49ers defense, but still, you're a number 1 receiver and Matt Stafford's healthy, you're going to get targets. So, and I think he's going to get more than 2-2 this week. So if anybody's going to suffer, I would say it's 2-2 and Van Jefferson. And not Puka. So Puka's at number 2. Number 3, Roschon Johnson. He got some targets out of the backfield. He got 7 targets receiving. So even if the rushing yards aren't there because Khalil Herbert and Foreman are in front of him, I mean, neither of those guys are lighting the world on fire. Those aren't like top 15, 10 backs or anything. Like he could easily jump them, eventually. But right now, if he's getting 7 targets and he's getting a few grabs, I mean, that's points there. And Roschon, I think, is the value being where he's at. I put him number 3. Zach Ertz, back from the dead. Zach Ertz at number 4. I think for tight end wise, he's the best play right now for the value. And number 5, Zay Flowers. Jay, you know what? Jay was higher on Zay Flowers coming out of Boston College than I was. And after week 1, I mean, we never know about Rashad Bateman's health. Mark Andrews might be out again. Likely he's good, but he's not Mark Andrews. So it would make sense if the Ravens are going to go through the air again, it's going to be through Zay Flowers. He might end up being the Ravens' number 1 receiver. And the guy's a rookie. I mean, I felt the same way about Chris Olave last year. Kind of surprised me, and then I became a fan. And Zay Flowers is working his way up to that status too. So I think Zay Flowers is a value play where he's at. So I put him at number 5. And those are the week 2 DFS bargains. Bam.
Ooh, not bad. I mean, I like Puka. I mean, Zach Ertz is. I mean, especially if you want to get some higher guys up in your lineups. I mean, yeah, Ertz would be not a bad play there. Or Troutman. I wouldn't mind maybe Troutman. That'd be probably a little bit more, maybe 2,500. But Troutman might be a little bit lower than Ertz. Yeah, Zay Flowers. Yeah, not bad for 5,000. Yeah, I like it. Not bad. I like all these guys. I don't know about Mayfield, but
let's make some money this weekend. Let's make some teams with some of these players.
All right. I think this will be kind of fun. This is my new nice little segment here. It's called it's Call Me Ghostin. It's kind of like these are the guys that like, hey, I'm gonna be there today, and then not show up at all. I mean, Drake London was one guy, 1 target,
flakier than me on a Friday,
right? And a lot of us. I mean, I think I have a share of London. I'm kind of like, what the hell, dude? I'm like, no freaking way. So I mean, yeah, that kind of hurt. I think I had him. I think Ayukin helped rebound me from I think it was either T Higgins or Drake London, one of those two guys that had a big old Zippo in him. No, that was um Judy. That was Judy. Yep. But T Higgins, 8 targets, 0 catches. What the hell, man? Where the hell were you? It kind of surprised me. I'm like, what? Could I have T? Because T Higgins, I actually have a share of T Higgins, and I'm like, I would figure this guy would at least gotten like 5 for like 40 or something at least. Come on now. I mean, I guess all that money that Burrow got went to his freaking head because he didn't know how to freaking play football. Um, Treylon Burks, 3
Yeah.
targets. 3 targets
They're
for
giving me
two.
some. I'm wearing the man's jersey tonight. Give me some for 55 mil.
Yeah. So Treylon Burks, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 18 yards. Yeah, not a great outlook for Treylon Burks with D Hop being there. The other guy, I mean, yeah, Justin Fields, pretty much he had looked like total garbage to me. Did not produce what we wanted him to produce. He had 24 for 37 attempts, 216 yards. He had 1 touchdown and 1 INT. I mean, from what I saw, he was not doing what some of his runs didn't look great. Some of his passing was just off. And I didn't like Justin Fields this week. I was like, wanted to just strangle my head because I'm just like, what the hell are you doing? Because I have him in my 2 QB leagues, and it's just like I just wanted to scream. But and Marvin Mims, two two targets, 2 receptions, 9 yards, and yeah, I figured Marvin Mims would have had some more involvement in the offense since with Judy not being there, but I guess the coach had other ideas because he must have not liked Mims. I don't know, maybe just punishing him for him being a rookie or some shit. But yeah, these are my 5 guys that ghosted you this week. So hopefully this upcoming week does not happen. So, but yeah,
You were
that is
you were ghosted, and but just to recap, Drake London's gonna bounce back. He's not gonna do that again. Too good. 1,000-yard, receiver his rookie year, or close to that. So he not gonna happen. Too good. T Higgins. I mean, we're never gonna see Burrow throw 82 yards again. I mean, that was a joke. So T Higgins will be back next week. Don't freak out about that. Treylon Burks is the guy on this list I'm most worried about because I really think that as bad as the Titans aerial game is, it's going to be one guy. It's going to be D Hop. D Hop is going to be I mean, yeah, D Hop's got more value than he has in probably 5 years. So I mean, if you want to run out and
right.
get somebody or go get D Hop or put him in DFS or something. But Treylon Burks, I think is gonna pay the price for that. Justin Fields, Tampa's got just as good of a defense as Green Bay, so I mean it'll probably be like this again next week. So if you have a strong backup, I might consider putting him in. And that's rough to say because Justin Fields is always a stud, especially with the running yards. But Marvin Mims, wait and see. It's a wait and see approach. If Judy's out again this week, he might get more targets. I forget who. I have to look real quick who Denver's playing, but Washington. Yeah, I mean average defense. I mean they kind of like the Raiders. It should be hopefully a little better, but it should be similar to what happened this past week. So which doesn't bode well. So, but of the two, just a question, quick, Jay. Of the two, who's got the brighter 2023, Marvin Mims or Treylon Burks?
Ooh, I would have to say Treylon Burks just because he's with Mims kind of being a rookie. He's only going to get accoladed just a little bit into the offense, but I mean, we mentioned Marvin Mims in our AFC West preview as well. I mean, he came from the Sooners. He was 1,000-some-odd-yard receiver. Had great talent. I can't remember where all my notes are at the moment on him, but yeah, I mean, I think he was a great route runner. He wasn't quite raw at all. So I mean, he's got what the Denver Broncos want as a wide receiver. They should use him in the midst of Judy not being there. But yeah, Burks. I'm still gonna. I think I got a couple shares of him. I'm still gonna go with Burks over Mims. So, but yeah, that was my.
And I'll take Mims.
Yep. Okay.
I was just gonna say, I'll take Mims, and
Okay.
I think he's got a brighter future. Especially if
Yep.
Judy's gonna be out and if Sutton's not gonna produce at the level that he's done in previous seasons, yeah, Mims is gonna jump right in there and start getting targets.
Yep. So everybody, stay tuned for my ghosting next week. So I'll have some more guys next week, and yeah. So stay tuned for next week's ghosting. So all right, guys. I think we're on to our last and final segment, and our show should be getting wrapped up here pretty soon as well. So
Do a little spin, do a dance, make love tonight. Ah, yes. So we debuted this last week. Lots of new stuff. If you're just tuning into Out of Rhythm for the first time, second time, it's all the same to
15th
me, baby.
time.
And this blue light makes it look like I'm wearing a Rams or Chargers jersey, and not an LSU jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so last week talked about Riley Leonard from Duke. He's going to probably be mid-second round quarterback. So if your team needs a quarterback, like if Chicago was, for example, if Chicago was going to stay with Justin Fields for another year, maybe they take Riley from Duke and in the early second round. That'd be a good spot. Or the Commanders, if they wanted somebody to back up Sam Howell, something like that would make some sense next year. But this week we're going to go with Brock Bowers, who he's a better prospect. Let's just be honest. This is probably one of the best prospects we'll be talking about. That doesn't get the national hype. It's not the Kool-Aid, cornerback from Alabama, or Caleb from USC, or Drake May, or any of these guys. He's a super talented guy, just not as high profile. So I thought I'd give him some love here. So the NFL comp, in my opinion, is George Kittle. He does everything. The guy can run. The guy ran for 3 touchdowns and over 100 yards last year. This is a tight end. You know what I mean? This guy runs, blocks, catches, does everything. This is a 5-star. Baseball, they say 5-tool player. This guy's a 5-star tight end. 2-time All-American. Number 1 overall tight end. Number 3 overall per PFF. So he's projected right now in the mock draft. They have him going to Washington at number 9. So somewhere in that range would make sense. Late top 10 pick. 6'4", 240 junior. Runs a 4.5, which is like, almost. I mean, for a tight end, that's hauling. I mean, that's some speed for a guy that size, definitely. 2021, he had 13 touchdowns, 800, almost 900 yards receiving, 13 touchdowns. Yikes! That's some NFL. That's some Kelsey, George Kittle kind of numbers in college, where they don't target the tight end as much. And then last year had had over 900 yards, almost 1,000, and had 7 more touchdowns. And like I said, had over 100 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. So if your team needs a tight end, if you're going to be in that 5 and 12 to 7 and 10 range, somewhere in there. Maybe the Panthers. Yeah, Panthers would be a good spot. I mean, they don't. I mean, isn't it Hayden Hurst or something? Their tight end. I think the Panthers would be a perfect spot. Washington, if you wanted to grade over Logan Thomas, something like that, because where I could see him going, and that is Brock Bowers, not Brock Lesnar, Brock Bowers.
It's my spotlight here. Yeah, it sounds like he's got some good skill set for, especially for the tight end position, good production. His skill set's pretty good. Looks like he could be the first tight end off the board for tight ends anyways when it comes to the 2024 draft. He's kind of like he's almost he's kind of on that elite level, kind of almost like a Kyle Pitts, but from what I'm kind of reading here a little bit.
Yeah. In terms of talent level, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
hopefully it goes better than Pitts, because Pitts kind of fallen off from his rookie year, but
yeah. But yeah, I think that was a good episode, everybody. I mean, we had a lot of viewerships, a lot of people in the comments. We appreciate everybody who was actually, tuning in and actually joining, jumping in the chats and whatnot. But yeah, it was fun. I'm sure we could have had a few more chit chatters up in there. I was hoping for some more, lineup decision questions up in there, trade questions and whatnot. So maybe next time, things happen. We had some weird, odd stuff going on tonight. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened. A lot of difficulties going on. I don't know. I think it was Eli's big glasses
Oh,
there
went black
reflecting
again.
everything. But anyways, guys, I think we appreciate everybody joining
You
in.
see me?
But yeah, I think that kind of wraps up our stream tonight, everyone. But yeah, make sure you join our Discord. Links in the description. And if you don't catch our live stream, come back and replay this. There's a lot of nice graphics on our stream tonight. And if you just like the audio version, make sure you guys jump in and like our Spotify, Apple Pods, Google Pods, like and subscribe there. Hell, maybe give us a review. We haven't had a review yet in one of our pods yet, so that'd be
Gotta
super
have one.
nice. That'd be amazing. But hey, everybody, make sure you
I'm
subscribe.
gonna fake a name.
There you go. Do it.
Fake a name.
Do
and
it.
I'm gonna do a review. That's what I'm gonna do.
Do it. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to us, like, and hit the bell for notifications. I think for sure next week Tuesday will be on for sure for next week Tuesday. But if not, if it doesn't, it'll be a Wednesday for sure. But yeah, other than that, guys, I think that kind of wraps up everything. Donovan says, "What if I lived in South Dakota and want to make content? Would you be hiring?" Donovan, you're already part of the team. What are you talking about? You're a funny man.
Well, I might need to review your resume, and might have to have you fill out some paperwork. Need 3 references. A couple things we're gonna need, Donovan, if you're gonna join the team. I mean, this is very prestigious here. Can't just let anybody, especially in our great state. You don't come into South Dakota like that.
I'll have to check that out. I had given a review on podcast.
Did we get a review? Did we get one?
I don't know. I'll have to look. That'd be crazy if we did, but
we gotta go check it out.
Oh, I know, right?
Oh
we'll have to air that. We'll have to air that in the next stream. I gotta find it first, but last comment here. Try to get a wise guy guest to handicap the NFL games. Ooh, NFL games. A handicap guy, huh? A wise guy. Interesting comment there, Eric.
There's a couple guys. Eric, there's a couple guys. Let's be, we're pretty honest here about everything. There's a couple guys we've tried to get, from different shows to come over, and we've had a few over the past year. A couple guys come in. We've tried to get some higher end talent to come on and kind of aid or provide that kind of information. But some people flake on us. They flake.
Yeah. Hey, if
what are we gonna do?
there's,
we do the best we can.
Damn right. Gets to be a little depressing, but if there's anybody out there that maybe wants to join us, loves talking football, basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever, college football, give us a jingle. Discord's in the link. Yeah, let's mingle a little bit, chit chat, and kind of see where things go. But I mean, I would like to do a little bit more. I would like to do a few more shows in 1 a week, because I mean, 1 a week. Come on, I know you guys can't. I would love to get more of us, but it is what it is, and we do what we can, and for us being here right now. So enjoy it while you can. So, but anyways, guys, I think maybe.
I was gonna say, Jay, maybe for sure it'll be Tuesday next week. You have our word on that, so we will get waivers in beforehand. So if you guys actually want to tune in and get some, the calm before the storm, we will give that to you next week. I know this week, due to work circumstances, had to. Camera's unplugged.
You're still here, man. You're still here. Keep talking.
What? Oh,
you're still here.
Yeah,
keep talking.
Okay. Okay, help me. I'm blind. Help! I need your pocket. Guide me. No, but yeah. So we're gonna be on Tuesday next week, and we might add a second show starting in October, possibly. But a lot of this stuff is restricted to work. So it's like we both have full-time jobs, and in my case, part-time second job. So it's like we if we can work that in and do something up to up to the right level, then yeah, definitely. And try to, last call. That's something we did a couple years ago when we had a different show and a different where we do like last minute waivers or roster adjustments. If you wanted us to kind of comb through your team, it was like a 30-minute episode we used to do. That's something we could possibly bring back too. So that whatever. We're an open book pod here. So and that's why we appreciate comments and feedback or any stuff like that. So, but yeah, my disembodied voice will go away now.
That last call, I actually kind of like that segment. I think we should bring that back and bring back that nice little voice clip. I'll have to find that.
I fucking love, dude. That was my favorite part of that. I love that shit. Last call or alcohol.
Damn right. But yeah, I think we'll have to try to do something like that again for sure. But all right, guys, we're gonna get up out of here. We enjoyed everybody that actually jumped into comments, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday. So from Out of Rhythm, I'm Jamie. That's Mr. Eli over there in the 70s looks. The Joe Burrow look. We'll be back. We'll see you guys later.